Donald Cerrone versus Justin Gaethje at UFC Fight Night 158. This is a very good card. Like, for a fight night, this card is like a lot better than UFC 242. UFC 242, the only fight that I cared for was Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Dustin Poirier. And other fights, there were some good fights like Edson Barboza versus Paul Felder, Islam Makhachev versus Davey Ramos, but for a pay-per-view, Khabib, for it to have only big fight like Khabib and Poirier, man, that's disappointing. But UFC Fight Night 158, that's fucking great. The main event, Donald Cerrone, Justin Gaethje. Great fight. Glover Teixeira versus Nikita Krylov. Great fight. Todd Duffy, Jeff Hughes. If Todd Duffy is fighting, he's like kill or be killed. He's going to knock out somebody or he's going to get knocked out. So that's a great fight. Antonio Carlos Jr. versus Uriah Hall. Grappler versus striker. Great fight. Misha Cirkunov versus Jim Crute. Great fight. And on the prelim, Marcin Tybura versus Augusto Sakai. It's a okay fight. That's watchable fight. And Andrew Sanchez versus Marvin Vittori. Pretty interesting fight. And other fights are, I don't care about the other fights, but it has so many good fights in this card. So UFC Fight Night 158, good job. So let's get to the point. Cerrone versus Justin Gaethje. Who do I think is going to win the fight? So I'm going to start off by talking about Donald Cerrone. So Donald Cerrone, I think he's very underrated. Like, he has lost some matches that was pivotal moments in his career, like to Tony Ferguson. If he had won the fight against Tony Ferguson, he would have fought against the winner of Khabib and Dustin Poirier. But he lost that fight. He lost to Leon Edwards. He lost Darren Till, Robbie Lawler, Jorge Masvidal, and then he lost to Rafael Dos Anjos twice. And the second time it was for the lightweight title, and he lost that fight. And then he lost to Anthony Pettis, Nate Diaz, Benson Henderson. But though these fighters, they are not cans. These fighters are all good. Darren Till, he's on 2-fight losing streak, all by knockout, but Darren Till hits hard. He's a great fighter. Tony Ferguson, phenomenal fighter. Leon Edwards, phenomenal striker. I picked him to win against Rafi Dos Anjos. Everybody picked Rafi Dos Anjos to win, but I know everything about MMA, so I got it right. So anyway, he's not losing to so-so fighters. He's losing to very good fighters. So people say that Cerrone is overrated or he's not that good, but I think he is super underrated, okay? He's super good. Like, against L.I. Quinta, he showed a very good kickboxing. He just completely destroyed L.I. Quinta. If they had one more round, L.I. Quinta would be in a coffin right now, okay? So Cerrone is underrated. His kickboxing is devastating. I mean, he has been defeated against guys like Tony Ferguson, who's, I would say, very awkward, maybe a little bit sharper, but against guys like L.I. Quinta. A lot of people picked L.I. Quinta to win against Donald Cerrone, but he picked him apart, dropped him with a jab, and then front kicked him in the face. I mean, his kickboxing is just devastating. His kicks, fucking devastating. His stinging jab, like, not many fighters use jabs in MMA, but his jab is stinging. His jab just dropped L.I. Quinta, and then he dropped Edson Barboza. I think his punching power is underrated as well. He's not a one-punch stiff knockout power type of guy, but he definitely has knockout power, I think. And his chin is very good. He has been tested against many guys. Against Tony Ferguson, his eye was a balloon, but I don't think he took that many damage from Tony Ferguson. It was like just a little bit redness, but I don't think he took too much damage from Tony Ferguson, so I don't think we have to worry about that. He did take some damage from Leon Edwards, but that was not too horrible. Against Darren Till, he got TKO'd, but there was a TKO. It was not like a knockout. Against Jorge Masvidal, he got TKO'd, but that's because it was a very good counter shot. He went for the body kick. Jorge Masvidal caught the body kick and then hit him with a great right hand, and anybody would get knocked down with that kind of counter right hand. So against Rafael dos Anjos, it was body shots. So yeah, so Donald Cerrone, he's if there was a weakness to Donald Cerrone, it would be his body. Like, he lost to Pettis by a body kick, but his chin is pretty good. He has been tested, but I think his chin is still very good. And his head movement has gotten way better. Okay, like when he fought Nate Diaz, his head was like a punching bag. He had zero head movement, but now after he throughout his career, his head movement has gotten better, and then he left Mike Winkeljohn. Like, everybody's leaving Mike Winkeljohn except for Holly Holm and John Jones. But after he moved out of Winkeljohn Academy and then started his own team, I think his skill has gotten better, a lot sharper. We saw that in Ally Quinta fight. So his head movement has gotten way better, and he's now afraid to go to the ground with people. Like Dustin Poirier and Khabib Nurmagomedov, that fight, Dustin Poirier is a jiu-jitsu black belt. He has very good guillotine choke, but he doesn't want to go to the ground with Khabib. But I think if Donald Cerrone fights Khabib, I don't think he would be too scared to go to the ground with Khabib. I think he will look for submissions. But for Dustin Poirier, he was like, I don't want to get taken down, but if I get taken down, I'm gonna look for submissions. But he doesn't want to get taken down. But for guys like Cerrone, I don't think he minds getting taken down. Like the fight against Mike Perry, he just doesn't care. He says, if it's on the feet, I'm gonna knock you out. If it goes to the ground, I'm gonna submit you. So he's very, very good everywhere, on the feet, on the ground, everywhere. Okay. And he has very good cardio. He can go 5 rounds. Okay, he can go 5 rounds. 5 rounds against Ally Quintas. Many 5-round fights, like Leon Edwards' fight. Yes, he has very good cardio. So let's start with Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje. Nothing against Justin Gaethje, but I think he's very, very, extremely overrated. Okay, I think he is so overrated. He has devastating leg kicks. I'll give him that. He kicks very hard. He kicks very hard. I think he has some finishes with just leg kicks. I think he has good knockout power. I don't think it's like Conor McGregor type of knockout power, but he does definitely have great knockout power. Like, he has many TKO and KO wins. Yes, if you check his Wikipedia, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Holy shit, 17 KOs. And 1, 2, 3. 3 are from leg kick KOs, leg kick TKOs. Like, he has power. He can kick hard. He can punch hard. But I don't think it's like one punch, dead stiff type of knock. Yes, he has knocked out. What's his name? What's Edson Barboza and James Vick stiff, but Edson Barboza and James Vick, they're not guys with great chins, especially James Vick. Every time Paul Felder hit him, touched him, he was getting wobbled. Okay, James Vick, his chin is just terrible. If I touch him with a left hook or straight right, he's gonna die. Okay, his chin is terrible. Edson Barboza, his chin is not that good. Every time he got hit by Gilbert Melendez, he was getting wobbled. When he got jabbed by Donald Cerrone, he got dropped. Edson Barboza, his chin is not that great. So to win against guys like James Vick or Edson Barboza by knockout, that's not that impressive. I mean, it is impressive, but Knocking them out itself isn't that impressive, okay? And then he has forward pressure. This could be problematic for Donald Cerrone because Donald Cerrone is a slow starter. So if someone pressures him a lot in the first round, it could go very bad for Cerrone. So since he's a slow starter, he could wilt under Gaethje's pressure. But that could happen. He can take punishment. I mean, Justin Gaethje can take punishment. He has pretty good chin, but he has been KO'd a couple times. Against Michael Johnson, he didn't get KO'd, but he got damaged. He got damaged so much. Eddie Alvarez, he got knocked out. Dustin Poirier, he got knocked out or TKO'd. 3 fights in a row. Too much damage, okay? And he has very good wrestling background. He was All-American at, I think, in his college. But he doesn't use it. He doesn't use it. He just doesn't. What good if you don't use it? What good if you have it, but if you don't use it? I mean, you can use it for takedown defense, but if you don't use it, what's the good? Like, you could use it, like I said, you could use it for takedown defense, but if you're not using offensively, I mean, what good is it? I mean, and he has very, very bad IQ. Extremely terrible bad IQ. He's a true fighter. He's a fighter. He's not he goes in there. He goes into the octagon to brawl, okay? He goes into the octagon to brawl. So against Michael Johnson, he won because he was tougher. Against Eddie Alvarez, he lost because he wasn't tough as Eddie Alvarez. Against Dustin Poirier, he couldn't win because he wasn't as tough as Dustin Poirier. Against James Vick, he won because James Vick has no fucking chin. Against Edson Barboza, he wilts under pressure and he has no chin. Not as bad as James Vick, but still not a very good chin. But against Donald Cerrone has much, much better chin. And it will not go that good for Justin Gaethje. So, who do I think is going to win the fight? I think you guessed it. I think Justin Gaethje is going to get mauled. Not mauled, but I think he's going to get finished. Inside 4. Okay? So he lost to Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, but won against Michael Johnson versus James Vick and Edson Barboza. And that's only because he was tougher than Edson Barboza. He was tougher than James Vick. He was tougher than Michael Johnson. He wasn't as tough as Eddie Alvarez. He wasn't as tough as Dustin Poirier. And I don't think he's as tough as Donald Cerrone. He could. I think if he wins the fight, I think it's his only chance is first round because like I said, Donald Cerrone is a slow starter. If he picks up the pace in the first round and just marches and charges at Donald Cerrone, just looking for knockout, like body shots, left hook to the body, dig into the body, and just trying to finish Donald Cerrone in the first round, it could go for him. But Donald Cerrone is a veteran, okay? He is a fucking veteran. He knows how to fight. He kicks fucking hard. His jab is stinging. His right hand has very good power as well. If Justin Gaethje takes him down, I think he could submit him. And Donald Cerrone, I don't think he will get knocked out by Justin Gaethje with one punch. Okay? I could see him getting TKO'd by body shot or like just like the way he got finished by Darren Till, like a lot of pressure. But unless Justin Gaethje wins in the first round, I don't see Justin Gaethje winning the fight against Donald Cerrone. I think he's gonna get finished in 4 rounds. Mark my words. I think a jab could drop him. I think he will finish with a head kick. Okay, and Justin Gaethje told the story of them sparring in like way back in the past. Like he said he got knocked out by a left uppercut. which means, I mean, he didn't see it coming apparently, but which means Donald Cerrone has more than enough knockout power to finish Justin Gaethje. I know Justin Gaethje can hurt Donald Cerrone, but I just don't see Justin Gaethje winning this fight. Like I say, he could win in the first round, but if it goes past the first round, it's over for Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is fucking overrated, extremely overrated. And after he gets KO'd in this fight, his chin will deteriorate more, and his defeat will put an end on Justin Gaethje's hype train, and that's it. I have nothing against Justin Gaethje, but I just think that Justin Gaethje fights like a he's a brawler, okay? Bruce Buffer should just say he's a brawler, okay? He's a fighter. He's not a technical fighter. He just fights. And he's won against James Vick or what's his name? Edson Barboza, just because he has better chin and he was tougher, okay? Not because he's a lot better than these people. Technique wise, I mean, maybe he's better than James Vick and Edson Barboza and technique wise, but anyway, you can't just beat Donald Cerrone with your toughness. You need technique, okay? And your toughness is not going to be enough for Donald Cerrone. I think Donald Cerrone is way tougher than Justin Gaethje. So I predict 4 rounds. He's going to get KO'd. It's going to be brutal. Justin Gaethje fans, I'm sorry, but just saying the facts, okay? Goodbye.